How about now? I forgot to click the button. Thanks for the reminder, Martin. I was saying good morning, happy Juneteenth, happy Thursday, all those things. I'm off work, so I figured I would jump on stream real quick and work through some of the firmware stuff we're doing, see if we can, yeah, I appreciate it, see if we can get some movement out of this thing. I reached over, turned the printer on today, and everything illuminated like it did on last week, yet there's no connection to Chrome. So maybe we get into that and try to figure that one out. But 2 people here on a Thursday, so maybe most people are working. I don't know. Tell you one thing, I'm pretty tired today. We stayed out late doing a graduation ceremony for some folks at work, and so not that we stayed out late, but we had a little bit of a good time. And then when we got home, we stayed up late, or at least I did. So getting back on schedule, getting up at 4 a.m., pretty tough to come out here at 8 and start streaming. But we're here, and we're gonna try to get some work done today. Wife and I are gonna head out here in a couple of hours, so taking advantage. All right, let me show you what we're working on. I came over to Chrome this morning, tried to get into the printer, and this is what I'm seeing. For whatever reason, won't connect. I'll scan with the IP scanner, can't see it. Log into my router, see if it's attached to the network at all. Can't see it. Don't know what happened. Turn the printer off, turn it back on, and now it won't connect. I have no clue why this thing does that. Yeah. So, not exactly sure what I should be doing about this. So that said, I almost did not stream. I almost canceled it because if I can't log into the printer, I can't really do any firmware updates and get it moving. So that sucks to discover like 2 minutes before stream. I don't know, Martin, if you have any ideas or not, but that's what I'm working on. A short stream? Yeah, it might be, man. It might literally be 5 minutes, and if that's the case, I will go back and delete the thing. But yeah, trying to get it to connect, and it just will not. Not exactly sure why it's doing that. Any ideas? And I think this kind of started after I connected the rainbow shift. So I put the LED, or sorry, the WLED module in there, connected the LED strips, added power, flash the ESP8266, and I could connect to it when it's outside of the printer. I cannot connect to it when it's plugged into the other board. None at all. Keeps disconnecting. Refresh it, connects, but won't stay connected. That sounds like your Wi-Fi is turning off out of a certain period of time. Yeah, so that's my guess. Is there's some keep alive script that's not happening. So after it connects or whatever, it'll drop it after a period of time. This one, I have no clue. The one thing I did was disconnect the rainbow shift and try to power on. That didn't work for me. Inspect the cable. Oh, sorry. I had a Discord a Discord pop up. I thought somebody was talking to me about this printer. Yeah, so I think what I'll do is try to power off and play with the machine a little bit. See if there's a change here. So the other part is like I tried to disconnect my display. That did not turn on. So I'm just going to undo all of the work that I did, which is connect the display with the ribbon cable. So I'll undo that one. And then I will disconnect the rainbow shift here, because maybe the power coming into the Pi is just getting siphoned off and it's not enough to allow it to fully boot. That's the only thing I can think of. And so outside of that, I don't really know. I mean, it's going to have power, so if I pull out the LEDs, disconnect those, that shouldn't draw anything. I'll even take the ESP off of here to see, just to make sure that that's not drawing any power. And so right now I have 5 volts coming over to the Rainbow Shift board itself, but there shouldn't be anything on here that actually draws power. I've disconnected the display, so that should not draw any power either. I don't have a camera connected yet, so it's literally only the main board, which I have to have, and the U2C, which I have to have. I did also get like a weird error on the SHT. So it shut itself down the other day when I was playing with this, and I just want to disconnect that to make sure it doesn't impact us. So of course it's not going to allow Clipper to boot, but maybe it'll. Yeah, I feel like that wasn't like fully secure. That's not as tight as I would like it to be. But we'll disconnect that as well, just to see if the Pi will boot. Hey, what's up, Boothy? Probably the K1 and A1 are fine. The interconnects when I go to check on it, so no biggie. Yeah. Well, I know Boothy always gives me crap about Wi-Fi issues, and this is another example of it. Like, I don't change anything, but the internet gives me trouble every time with Wi-Fi. Like, things just won't connect. So we're back to just the Pi right now, and I'm not seeing anything. Give it a few more seconds. Yeah, I do blame the wife. She's in here. She's the one that always makes updates to the Wi-Fi. Like, she knows what she's doing. But then when it goes out, the first thing she does is text me. And it's like, I'm at work all day. I didn't change anything. I didn't do anything. I don't know what happened. But she will make updates to like streaming services or whatever. Things don't work, and then immediately text me. It's like, well, leave it alone. Stop playing with it. She is not tech savvy. Okay, let's see if this works. Yeah, it's gonna be a scorcher today though. It's like 100 and something today, so already 80 out here, and today expected to go to expected to go to 98. Okay. Boothie in C, that is 36C today. Yesterday was rough. Yesterday was 104, which is something like 42C. Yeah, this is not connecting, folks. Well, I guess that's what I get for trying to stream on a Thursday morning. So last time I had this happen was when we were doing the initial setup for the SD card. Sorry, there's a freaking fly in here. It keeps landing on my legs. I'm gonna die. But last time I had this, it was when we did the initial setup. And so what I had to do was connect a keyboard, a mouse, and its own monitor just to be able to see that the Pi was working. And then once I had that, I could go in and edit the Raspberry Pi config under Wi-Fi settings and input my information in there, and then it was able to connect. That's what I had to do last time. I hate the new way that Raspberry Pi is flashing their images. They don't allow the text file that we used to be able to edit, throw the text file in there, and it would upload the Wi-Fi info. That's not a thing anymore. And they make it so painful just to connect your Pi to Wi-Fi. And so I hate to do it, but I might have to disconnect my monitor, which means I can't see any of your chat, so that I have a monitor to use for the Pi. And then I can connect my keyboard and mouse and make a change. Let's see. Yeah, I think I might have to do that. I can keep you guys on stream, but I won't be able to. See, where did I have this connected? Hey, what's up, Kegel? We're having Wi-Fi issues today, man. I can't get the Inertia³ to connect, even though nothing changed. It's almost like it lost or dropped all of the Wi-Fi information on the Raspberry Pi. So what I'm trying to do is play around with some cables now and see if I can connect to the Pi itself. I will have to borrow the one and only monitor I have, which is how I monitor chat. So I may not be able to respond to folks here in a second once I steal the monitor. But I think it's necessary for what I need to do. So what I think I can do is I can use the old telephone here, and we'll monitor the stream from there. So if you guys do have ideas or inputs on how to get this thing going, I'll be there to see, but I won't be able to immediately respond to you. Let's close this guy. Go here. Yeah, Wi-Fi issues suck, Yuri. I have no idea what the problem is here. Let's see, I'm trying to get the chat on mobile. All right. There we go. So I'm able to see your chats on mobile. If you do have an idea or something that I should probably try, let me know. There we go. I'll just put that here, and then once I steal this monitor, should be good to go. All right, so stealing the monitor. And of course it's not long enough. Why would it be? Well, let's see. How can I do this? I think I have a longer cable in the house. I may have one here inside the desk as well. Let's see, let's take you to the printer itself. This blows, folks. Yeah, so that's a micro. So I've got this micro cable that's pretty long, but on the Pi 3, it uses a full-size HDMI. And I don't have a full-size HDMI cord out here. Actually. Ah, come on. See, so this one, full-size HDMI, but it's got the mini over here. Come on. Oh, there we go. Let's try this. An adapter. So an adapter to a full-size from this mini. So this cable should be long enough. And I'm noticing too, like for the first time, I usually don't watch the stream live as we are streaming. But I'm seeing that there's a delay on the stream that I didn't know existed before. Roughly, I don't know, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. That explains a lot, though, as to why I will say things or do things, and I don't get responses until a little bit later. So that's so tight, I can't really tell you what we'll do. We'll remove the remove that U2C for now, so we can plug in here. This side's a little bit shorter, that'll help us. There we go. We'll do it like that, and then hopefully this will reach over to where I need to be. It does not. It's still like a foot too short. I'll tell you what, let's move the printer. I don't know if that's still going to be in frame as much as I would like. There's nothing I can do about that necessarily. See if I could try to move the camera manually so you can see what's happening. And wait for the stream to catch up. Cool. There we go. All right. So just trying to connect the monitor now. Let's see if I can get anything out of it. Okay. So I've got a Wi-Fi. I've got HDMI connected here to the Pi, and I've got power to it, and I probably need more than 5. Man, why is it not working? So I do have a wireless keyboard, wireless mouse connected, and a monitor connected, but nothing coming on the screen so far. Just don't understand. This is how I had to do it last time. And I was able to see a terminal in the window or on the monitor. And today, I don't see any of that. Let me see if I could change source or something. Nope. Yeah, so monitor is on. Keyboard is not illuminated. We turn that off, turn it back on. These flies out here are killing me. Yeah, so something is going on with this Pi. I don't even have an active light, so it's almost like it turned Wi-Fi off of itself. I don't understand that. Just being careful to put this board in a place that it's not going to touch anything. And I'm a power cycle because I don't know what else to do. I need a bug zapper out here. This is annoying as F. Okay. So powered back on. I thought maybe it would recognize the keyboard and mouse after I power cycled. You ran Ethernet throughout the home. Yeah, if I owned this house, I may do the same. At my last house, I had no issues like this. We had one where like we updated the router or whatever, and we had to reprogram all of the things that were connected to the Wi-Fi. So we had to go back through and do all of that. But outside of that, I had no issues whatsoever at my last house. Over here, dude, I don't think I would have issues if it wasn't for the way that they make you flash this image now. And we didn't change anything. That's the crazy part. Hey, Jose. We're fighting through some Wi-Fi issues this morning. I was going to log in, take advantage of the day off, log in, get the firmware set up, and see if we can make this thing move properly. But when I powered on 2 minutes before stream, it will not connect to stream, or it won't connect to the Wi-Fi at all. So I'm sort of backtracking and undoing some of the additions I did. So we took out the U2C, we took out the rainbow shift board. I've got the Pi itself connected to a monitor in keyboard. I see a black screen. I see nothing at all. So really, I have no idea what is happening right now and why this is not working. So I'm just gonna take that back out. We'll see about connecting back to the PC. Try to undo. If I tried another RPi, the one sounds a bit dodgy. I haven't. I do have another Pi sitting around. Man, I really don't want to swap the Pi though. The other one I have, I believe, is still in the house. I need to run in there quickly and grab that. And we can go about that process. I feel like I want to try one more thing before I do that, though. Sorry, I'm just trying to reconfigure the PC here. Okay. Now, like, all of my windows got messed up when I unplugged things. Sorry, team. Get this back on the rails here. All right. This and that. Something like that. There we go. The IP should still list in the router, even if not connected to Wi-Fi. It should. It doesn't. So I logged into the router right before stream to check. I can't find it. It's Booty. It's almost like it just wiped out the Wi-Fi for no reason. Wi-Fi dongle. That could be a thing. I feel like I do have one. Yep, sure do. Got a Wi-Fi dongle right here. Let's try that. That's a great idea. That's why they pay you the big bucks. Let's see if that will work. All right, so that one is connected. Now, how do I? Hey, thanks, Beth. Happy Juneteenth. Can I SSH? I cannot SSH because I don't have Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi does not work right now. That's what we're trying to solve is to figure out why the Wi-Fi's won't connect. Okay, so we got the dongle in. Scan the router for the IP. Okay. See if I can add that here really quick. Not really run a long cable to what? Get out of here. These flies are driving me nuts. Okay. So just scanned. We have seeing some phones, seeing a ton of other printers. Seeing the arcade. not seeing a Wi-Fi dongle of any kind. Your. Oh, brother, Jason, I would need like a 50-foot Ethernet cable to go from my garage to where my router is. I don't have one of those on hand, and I definitely am not going to pause the stream, run 1 hour one way to the store, and then an hour back, and just have this thing running. I don't have a fast solution to be able to do that. I'm seeing a 142 here. ESPs. What is that? Yeah, I'm seeing a bunch of random things that I don't know what they are. No, I don't have spare wire and extra connectors to make my own cable. I wouldn't even know where to begin to make an Ethernet cable. I've never done it before, and I definitely don't have that tool. I don't even know what this dongle is called. I mean, I guess I'll just try some of the random things I'm seeing here. There's several devices on the network that I don't recognize. You have to give you, yeah, you have to give me a lesson in making Ethernet cables. You should make a video and release it. I've never had to do that before. And I can just see my wife yelling at me about running a 50-foot cable all the way through the house. So like our router is like central to the house, and then we have nodes on either end, and then I have a node out here. And so we have great Wi-Fi coverage. But the Ethernet, you have to run through the kitchen, through the laundry room, out into the garage, and she'll light me up all the time about it. I just know she would. I already get yelled at for being in my own garage running a what is this? Like an extension cord from where I plug it in at to my motorcycle so that it stays charged when I'm not riding. It already gives me crap over that. Make it a game. Yeah, we could play double dutch with it. My node does have an Ethernet port. Jason, it's not a fact of not having an Ethernet port. It's the fact that I have to run a 50-foot cable, which I don't have, and which my wife is not going to allow me to keep there long term. So it's not that I can't do it. It's that I don't have the equipment to do it. I don't have a cable. Nope, so that one's not working. Can you share your router web page, please? We may. Sure, Ref. Yeah. I don't know if you're messing with me or not. I don't feel good about doing that. I can show you like Angry IP Scanner. Does that help? I mean, I'm seeing all the normal things. I'm not seeing anything about what's more important, Ethernet cable or your wife. I mean, with B around, I guess my Ethernet cable. Right, Jason. I'm tracking what you're saying. I don't know that you're tracking what I'm saying. I don't have a cable, so even if I wanted to, I couldn't connect anything over there. You are looking for something that says pi. Look for your DHCP server. Yeah, so I'm in Angry IP Scanner. I'm not like in my router itself. So when you say DHCP server, I don't even know what that means. I'm not a networking person. You guys got to remember, I fly airplanes for a living. I don't do networking or Linux or any of that stuff. Yeah, Jason, that's what I'm saying. You got it. Router should show. Yeah, it should, Boothy. And it does. Here, I'll show you what I'm looking at. I'll show you Angry IP Scanner. Give me 1 second. Streamlabs is being a bastard. I will share this window to show you what I'm looking at. Depends on the local address is named on the RPI. Sure. All right, so this is the window I'm looking at. Expand this out. So I can see in here all of the things listed, right? So this would be my router. It's my phone, some Fire Sticks in here, a 2D printer, 3D printer, some more Fire Sticks, another phone, some other stuff. So I don't see anything that says Pi. Hey, Jared. Normally I'm not live today. I have the day off, and I took the opportunity to come out here and try to get some firmware printer stuff done. But as soon as we started stream, printer won't connect to Wi-Fi. So we're kind of dead in the water until I can solve that issue. Not the most exciting Thursday. So as I continue to go through, like some of these, I tried connecting to 173, no dice, 192, no dice. Previously, 236 was the printer. And you can see that 236 is dead. Booty, I changed absolutely nothing. Didn't rename anything, did not change anything. We finished upstream on Sunday last week. I shut down the printer via the command. So shut the printer down, powered off, did some firmware stuff on, I think, oh man, like Monday night. So powered on Monday night, everything was fine. Tried to set up sensorless homing a little bit. Called it after like an hour of work. And so shut down the printer, turned it off, and now come out here on Thursday, and it won't connect to Wi-Fi. A hidden second screen, open up your router's webpage and look to see if the router finds it. Yeah, I can do that. If it would stop auto-completing things. Hey, Lee Marie. Jeremy, good morning. Happy Thursday. Happy Juneteenth. How'd your stream go last night? You guys get toasty? We went to a graduation last night, and so I was not able to catch it. Ours started at 5:30. I think you guys went live around the same time, so I got zero opportunity to watch your thing. What is my password? Yeah, taking advantage of the time. I thought I was going to be slick, right? So I got today off. I'm on a pass tomorrow, so I get a 4-day weekend basically. And thought I was going to be slick. Come out here, turn the printer on. We're going to get things working and moving. I only need to get sensorless homing working, and then we should be able to start printing, right? So the goal was to do like a first print type deal, but it won't connect to Wi-Fi, and I don't understand why. Okay, so I've got my router up. I'm looking at the device list. Had to nuke it at the end. Yeah, I know. Best to not catch it. Keelik got a bit too hammered. That's what I was there for. I was there for the train wreck. Okay, Reth, I am in my in my what's it called? Reboot the Pi boot. They've already done that several times. No change. Okay. Not seeing anything that says Pi. Not seeing anything that says node or any of that. Yep, leveled the bed with the steel balls that I have. What is Boddington's? Clean the plate? Yep. Yep, Boothie already rebooted with the dongle inside. Yes. I mean, I'm seeing several Linux things, but I don't know what those are. See if I can connect to that. Yeah, I thought with a Wi-Fi dongle, I should be able to just connect it and go, but that's not the case. Is there anything that matches the name of the printer in mainsail? No. No, there isn't. Yeah, so in mainsail, it's named Inertia³. My host name on the Pi is also Inertia³. Power it down and back up again. Not kidding. Yeah, Jeremy, we've done that several times. There's no change. Let's see if I can do this one. So now I'm just like scanning for the different IP addresses that I'm seeing. How is the Pi powered? A low amp may affect. Agree. Booty, I'm using, if you remember, I'm using the DC to DC converter here. So the Pi should be getting 5 volts at up to 5 amp max. So it's powered from the GPIO pins. So I have 2 5-volt lines connected and a ground connected. So we should not be starved for power. I thought the same thing. It's just not the case. I do have a separate RPi PSU for testing. I do not have static IP set, ref. Look for the last IP number handed out. What is DHCP though? I don't know what you mean when you say that. I know it has to do with like a router thing, but I don't know where to look for that in the settings though. Cable should be at least 20 gauge. It is 20 gauge. Local network. Yeah, so I'm seeing DHCP like under the local network settings of the router here. I'm seeing like a DHPC server enabled. And then I guess you want me to go under like reservations, right? To see what was reserved. And then manually add a device reservation. It might say something like DHCP leases. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't have anything that says leases, but I am seeing a list of Wi-Fi IPs with devices next to it. And then I have a checkbox that I can select and then add a reservation. But as I go through that list, I do not see the printer that used to be connected. I can see my WLED, but I don't see the printer or anything called Raspberry Pi or any of that kind of stuff. Do any of those Wi-Fi devices have a name of the dongle? They don't. That's where I'm lost and I'm frustrated because I thought that all I had to do was plug it in and it would just identify itself, and then I could connect to it, maybe update it with the uh, Wi-Fi stuff. But if it doesn't know which Wi-Fi to connect to, or it doesn't know um, the passkey, how can it connect and provide a Wi-Fi network to the Pi? So that's the part I don't really understand. Your Pi does not have Wi-Fi. No, the Pi does have Wi-Fi. It's just not connecting to Wi-Fi. When it used to, like 3 days ago. Um, yeah, so even if I try to go to any of these other ones here, it doesn't do anything. Take out the SD card and make sure the boot tech. So that's the thing with the new Raspberry Pi, Rhett. This is what I was, ranting about a little bit ago. The way that Raspberry Pi Imager has you flash your image now, it does not add a boot TXT and all the Wi-Fi stuff anymore. You have to. The only way I could get it to work, maybe people have a different way. The only way I can get it to work when I flashed it initially was to connect a mouse and a keyboard and a monitor, and then go into command line and add Wi-Fi that way. But I can pull the SD card and we can walk through it. I'll share the window with you all, and we'll walk through it that way. In the meantime, let's get rid of these windows here. All right, so we're gonna power off, and then I'll pull the SD card out. I think what I'm gonna do as well, just to be sure, I'm going to disconnect the rainbow shift here. Cool, so that's that. Don't want these like flopping around touching things though, so we'll tuck those out of the way. All right, so should be fine, not touching anything there, and it's only 5 volts, so I'm not worried about getting shocked. I need this. So we pull this card out of here. Okay. So I've got the card. Card rest. Yeah. Yep, that's the plan, Boothie. All right, cards in. I'll share this window with you all so you see what I'm looking at. Give me 1 second to set it up. We're going to add this. Okay, so this is the Wi-Fi card. Make that big so we see what's going on. Okay, going into the boot. And then firmware config.txt. So that's the thing. I don't have a boot, but I do have a config.txt. Is that the one that you are suggesting I edit? Do not show it online. Yeah, tracking. So in this config, this is like how to do set up your HDMI and your cameras and all that stuff. There should be no Wi-Fi information in here. I'm not worried about showing this file, Boothie. There's this headless file on the new way that Raspberry Pi makes you flash things. This headless file contains your Wi-Fi info. That's why I did not click on that. But you can see I have the file. I did edit it. It's got the right Wi-Fi information in there. You're supposed to be able to connect that in, power on, and somehow it just works. I don't know. But that's what we did, and it won't accept the Wi-Fi. This is exactly what happened to me when I initially tried to flash this Pi. I even tried to flash a secondary Pi with the same process. It just did not work for me whatsoever. I don't care what Raspberry Pi says. I followed their directions to a T 4 times over 6 hours on 2 different Pis with 2 different SD cards. None of it worked. Like I literally had to connect monitor, keyboard, mouse, and then go into Raspberry config and do it that way because it just would not connect to Wi-Fi. Period. Dot. Would not work. And if you go into this Wi-Fi file down here, this one just tells you to use plain text and all this stuff, and then they give you some instructions on how to set up your network. So I did this stuff, and this is where I got the clue that I needed to plug in a monitor. And so once I did that, it connected. Yep, tracking Notepad++. That's what these icons are, because that's my default text editor, is Notepad++. So that's where we're at, right? So it tells me to edit this text file and use, your text editor or whatever to update these things. I did all that. And if I can open this one, you should not be able to see that. But I can. And I'm looking at the correct SSID for the Wi-Fi. I'm looking at the correct password for that network. And then let's see if I can do this one here. Save. Close that. Okay. Yeah. So you do not know. Yeah, I'm the same way, Reth. Like, I'm not a complete idiot when it comes to this stuff, but it is not my specialty at all. I fully understand how to add Wi-Fi to a Pi and connect the clipper and things like that. I've done it on several printers. This is the first one since they've changed their process for updating Wi-Fi that I've built, and so I don't know, it just doesn't make sense on how they do it to me. Like, I can't wrap my mind around how that is supposed to work by editing this file, putting it in the Pi, turning it on, and now somehow magically it works. It doesn't work that way in my experience. But I just made one tiny tweak to the headless file. So I'm going to eject this, and we can see what happens. We'll do that, close that, and then we'll get rid of this window. And then we'll get that card back into the Pi and see if that works. I mean, I guess this is kind of cool for posterity, like to see how the problem solving process goes and some things that you might run into, but I don't recommend it. I just dropped that into some place I can't get to easily. Come on. It like fell, there it goes, in between the bracket and the Pi itself. Let's see if we can get that. There we go. So I took it out with pliers the first time. I should have put it back in with pliers. Gently with pliers. Okay. That is that. Put that back. What am I doing? There it goes. It like locked itself open somehow. And I just want to put it back on the DIN rail. That's all I want to do. Put it back on the DIN rail. Okay, there it is. Man, it's such a pain. Okay. So things are back. I've disconnected power from over here. That way there's no like extra power draw if people are worried about that. Double check the Wi-Fi is on the card as per the instructions. It is. Try turning off the temp. What temp? Your screen error stated access refused. What? What do you mean? What do you mean access refused? Maybe a firewall issue? I didn't see an access refused. I don't know what you mean, Boothie. Okay. So back on. Again, I should be seeing a green flashing light here on the Pi. I don't see that whatsoever. Normally that'll be flashing once it tries to start connecting to Wi-Fi. Bring up your browser screen. Sure. It's been the same browser screen for the last, I don't know, 2 hours. I mean, there's nothing new here to see on this screen. Remove the dongle. It's not helping. Yeah, I agree. It's not helping. There you go. Dongle out. Did I reboot the Pi again? Yeah, that dongle came with a an MKS board for connection refused. Oh yeah, Boothie. That's so if you try to connect to a Pi, at least here in America, and it doesn't connect through, that's what it's going to say. So that's not like a firewall thing. Reboot. Okay. Power off. I'm gonna wait for all these lights to go off. And power back on. All right, let's see if we can get to our actual. Got a monitor and keyboard. Yes, I do, Ref. Before you came on stream, we tried that. I just get a black screen. It doesn't do anything. The problem is I only have one monitor keyboard. It's what I use for the stream right now. So the monitor that I'm using Streamlabs on, going to Wi-Fi addresses on, all that kind of stuff, is the same monitor I need to steal to plug into the Pi. And I can do that. I did it when we first started. It just gave me a black screen. It wouldn't show me a terminal at all. But I'm almost kind of with Boothie here that we just swap the Pi because I'm really just not I have no other idea of what it could be. I've got a Model A Pi 3 here. It's not the right format, but I got another 3B Plus, brand new in the box. I got a Pi 4, brand new in the box. So we could try either of those, and then I have another Pi 4 in the house. Let's see if it's a bad SD card. I mean, it very well could be, I suppose. I have another SD card out here that is also flashed with the same stuff. So just like swapping one for one, that could work. But I don't know how it would be a bad SD card when all we did was power the printer off and power it back on. And especially when I pull it out, plug it in the computer, I can see the files and stuff. It's like, I really feel it's like Wi-Fi related. Like, I don't know why they decided to change how they process it. I think that's the most frustrating part about the whole thing. What's up, Havoc? It's all right, man. You're here now. There's not much of a stream going on because we can't connect to the Pi. But we can power off. We'll try a different SD card. Should we flash a new one? Should we flash a new one or use the one that I have? I mean, I guess let's try to flash a new one, right? So I have this other one. It's a 32 gig. It's new as of a week ago when I started this process the first time, so it should not be bad. If it is, do I have any more? Let's see. Yeah, if it is, I have 4 other brand new ones in the package that we have to try. So I guess what we could do, start with, let's try the one that's already flashed. Yeah, okay. So I'll put you back to see what I'm looking at. All right, plugging it in. Open the window here. All right. Let's add this back on. This guy. Oh, where's that? That guy. Okay. So there is the new SD card that's already flashed. You can see it's got all the same info on there. And as I go through, there's still not a boot folder. Again, Raspberry Pi changed the way that they create images. And so there's nothing to do with Wi-Fi. There's nothing to do with the headless nm.txt file. And that's because when you flash it with Raspberry Pi Imager now, and you put in your Wi-Fi details, it's supposed to copy that stuff over. Again, in my experience, that stuff does not get copied. And so when you plug in your Pi for the first time, it should have all the info it needs to connect to Wi-Fi. In my experience, it does not. And I don't know how to get around that. But that's the file. If you want to look at the config, this is it here. Again, this just controls cameras or displays that you have connected to your Pi. You can overclock and things like that, and control the audio. But there's no Wi-Fi information in here. So that's that. But I mean, I'll plug it in. I just don't see it having any change in status. Because without Wi-Fi info, like, why would it work? I am on a 2.4. Boothie, I thought about that too. I run all of my Pis on a 2.4 gig network so that it doesn't have issues with distance or range. Yeah, Havoc, I haven't had this issue since, man, because we built the Trident, didn't have this issue. Built the Doron Velta over there, didn't have this issue. Did the switch wire in October, didn't have this issue. This is literally the first time I've seen it. Hardwire for the win? Yeah, if I could, I would. Out here, I don't have a network set up like that to where I can run Ethernet to everything. And I don't own the house, so I can't like run cabling through walls and all that. I would love to. So same issue as before. No active light on the Pi. So that tells me it's not even trying to connect to Wi-Fi. If I go to Chrome and try to reload the site, it doesn't connect through Wi-Fi either. If I disconnect my one and only monitor and put that into the Pi instead, I'll move you again. If I move that, connect the HDMI to my monitor that I'm on, I get a black screen. So it's not even outputting any sort of display that I can see. Talk to the commander for me. Get an exception, run network cables. Yeah, that would be ideal. Is there like a splitter type thing? Again, I am not a networking person. Is there a splitter type thing where I can use Ethernet cables into like one solid device, and that one device has a single Ethernet cable that goes back to my router? Is that an option? Is that a thing? New Pi? It's not a new Pi. I have a new Pi. I don't think it's the Pi though. It has to be something to do with how the image is getting flashed. It is not just, it's just not pushing the Wi-Fi information over. Test the output on the buck converter. I could try a switch. It's called a network switch. Okay, I'll look for that. Maybe that means I have to move. So the issue is like we have Wi-Fi service through our cable network people, and it's the only service that we have in this community. And so when we go to connect the router, it has to be through wherever a cable outlet is, and the only one is where it's at right now. So I need to find like a super long cable to run all the way out here, and trying to make that look nice and neat and clean is difficult without pissing off the wife. Come on. I've never had issues with Wi-Fi like this. It's only on this printer today that I'm having these issues. Yeah, Brett, that's how I was able to get it online, get the Pi online the first time, was with a monitor, keyboard, and mouse. I didn't even have an Ethernet cable at the time. But flash the image, put the card in the Pi. Obviously, it was enough to make it run. So while I had my monitor and keyboard out, I just edited in the, what's it called? Network settings. I input my Wi-Fi information in there manually, and then it connected to Wi-Fi. I also had to enable Wi-Fi before I could do that. So the whole idea that during the setup of Raspberry Pi Imager, you can put your network information in there and send it all together, it doesn't work that way. I don't care what Raspberry Pi says, it doesn't work that way. Now I'm seeing a bunch of just random crap called network device, and I don't know what that is. Network device, network device. But nothing with the IP address that I would expect for this Raspberry Pi. May have to redo an SD card with only PiOS Lite on it. So Ref, that's what I did. So it has PiOS Lite, used Kia or Kaya, however you say it, to flash Calico, Moonraker, Mainsail, all of the things, and then uploaded my config and all the stuff. Or if I get suggest using Imager 185 to write the image instead of 194 until the acknowledged Wi-Fi bug is fixed. I had not heard of that. We can definitely try it. Does the screen on the printer come on when you boot? No, it does not. It does not. So I had disconnected the ribbon cable earlier, and I can connect it again right now. So when I put this in here, I get nothing on the screen. So nothing over here. But I think KCMO buff, we may have to try that. Yeah, Jason, I'm at a loss. So in the instance of trying to be at least a little productive today, let's gen up a new SD card. Let me try what KCMO is saying. Sounds like a bad pie, Kegel. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Let's see if I can do. What am I looking for? Okay, so we're on PiOS. Oh, like a Pi image? Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So in the instance of eliminating all variables, I've got brand new 32 gig SD card. Never used, never even opened until right now. Set to static. Set what to static? A bad Pi image. Yeah, so Diego, I don't know if you caught the initial what we were talking about or not, but I worked on this thing on Monday night and I powered down, and then I powered on today before stream, and it won't connect. So it was good at one point. Nothing changed in between powering down and powering on, and then all of a sudden it doesn't want to connect. So all of the setup and everything that we did, we have to redo. Set this, what? Yeah, I don't think it's DCHP issue either. The Pi, this can't, yeah, I agree more with Reth on this one. I don't think it's DHCP. We can set the static once we get it to connect to an IP address, but unless it connects, I can't do that. So you said not to use 194. That's the one it wants to install. So if I go to previous options, how do I go to a previous? You did not have access issues previous. Correct. I did not have access issues previously, but now I do. It's almost like the only way I can explain it is that it had correct Wi-Fi credentials 2-3 days ago, and today it does not have correct Wi-Fi credentials. It's almost like they wiped themselves out of the Pi altogether. How do I go back to a previous build of this? KCMO buff, if you know how to go back to the 185 that you suggest, I would love an instruction on how to do that, because I'm only seeing the ability to download the current version. CDM. Got it. Thank you. Should have known it was on GitHub. Okay, so leases. Looking for 1.8.5. You're not searching now? Like, what is... So using the link that you sent over, took me over. The okay, so I had to use the tags button. Got it. There it is. So I want this file here. We will definitely try that out. I mean, at this point, what do we got to lose? Okay, so Pi Imager is getting installed. We are good to go. Let me add this window to the chat so you can see it. And we'll walk through what that looks like. Give me now it doesn't want to. Streamlabs is wigging out today. There's just technology problems all over the place. I don't know if it's going to allow me to capture the Raspberry Pi Imager window. There it is. Okay. There's our Pi Imager. Seeing your thing. Got it. Thank you. Okay. So it's asking me about that. We're not going to do that. We are intentionally on an old build. I'm going to say no. Our device. We're going to try to flash this 3. Let me turn this off again. This is a 3B+. I'm going to keep the Pi that we have for now, because I don't think it's the Pi itself. I think it's just the build on the SD card. Okay, so for an OS, I'm going to do other, and then we're looking for light. So there's Bookworm, and then there's Bullseye. Should I be using Bullseye? Because I think that's the older version, right? Bookworm has the problems. For those that are smarter on this stuff than I want to use Bookworm, Jason says. Adding that SD card to the computer there. So I should use Bookworm? Is that what we're going with? Bookworm. Okay, so there's 2 Bookworms, and we're going to use the light version. Should it be Legacy Light or OS Light? Oh, well, I guess that's Bullseye. So there we go. We're using OS Light 32-bit Bookworm under here. We're going to use this. Storage is going to be that device that I just added. I can use 64. I thought that 64 created like timer too close issues because it was a lot of processing for a Pi. I don't know. It is a 3B plus, right? So it's not a Pi 4 or even a Pi 5. What's up, Low Sync? We're fighting through fighting through Pi issues right now. You use 64? Okay. 64 Lite bookworm. Let me double check that. iOS Lite, bookworm, 64, that guy there. Gonna go to our drive we just put in. Do you think there may be issues? Use 30. No, it's not that I think that. It's just what I read. That 64-bit is a little more intensive on the processor, but Low Sync is co-signing what you're saying. And at this point, it doesn't matter. We're doing things and stuff. Diet Pi is becoming Pi. I've never even heard of Diet Pi. Make sure to set up Wi-Fi. Yep, doing it right meow. Making sure that you can't see my Wi-Fi credentials while we're doing this. So luckily it put it in a new window. So in the background, we're gonna call this Inertia³ local. We'll do that stuff. Okay. We have the right region, the right locale. Wireless info is correct. Let's change our password. That's good. Under services, SSH is enabled. And then for options, we'll keep whatever is in there. Saving that. Do I want to apply? Yes, I do. We're going to erase your stuff. Great. Roll. In the meantime, because this is going to take a while, Jason, what do you think about Diet Pi? I've never heard of that. So while Raspberry Pi is going, if we could turn off that window, I want to check out Diet Pi and see what that's about. I had never heard of that. Here we go. Well, AI says it's a lightweight Debian-based OS specifically designed for single-board computers like Raspberry Pi. Known for minimal resource usage, optimized performance, and ease of software install. You can download an image from dietpi.com and flash it to an SD card to run. I'm willing to try it out. Really optimized, lightweight, backup, logging, updates, automation. 23402 plus. I think I want to put this in a place I can access from everywhere. Where did I put that? No, let's see, note, it is diet, so it may be missing some packages you have to install later. Like what? I mean, I can run Clipper on it, right? Because I feel like every time I do even a normal install, I have to install a bunch of packages anyway. One of the first things I do is update all the stuff. Yell on the Voron Discord turned you on. I'm not familiar with Yell. I don't know who that is. Yeah, if Clipper runs fine, that's what matters, right? Like, I'd rather not have a lot of bloat on there. What's up, Happy? Thanks for joining us. We're fighting through Pi issues today. And I've got roughly an hour left to be able to do all this. But we did download that, Jason. Thank you for the heads up. We'll see if we can flash that. iOS is driving me nuts. Out of here. Yale is a force. She hangs out with us in the Bora Misfit channel. I've never met this person. I have no idea. I'll be honest, I don't hang out in the Boron Discord channel. I kind of bounce around to a lot of different places and check out different things. I like 3D printing in general. I'm not really tribal in one area or another, which is why my 3D printer collection is all over the place. Everything from rat rigs to FL Suns to, there are bamboos over there. There are Vorons, LH Stinger. There are some things you never heard of over there. Kind of all over the place. So, kind of a jack of all trades. I'm not really good at any one system over the other. I even have a RepRap firmware printer over there. Nothing with Marlin, though. I don't have any Marlin machines anymore. In Doom server, cartographer. That's cool. All over the place. Yeah, I love my... So I had an Elegoo Centauri Carbon. I got it, I don't know, like a week after release. So I got in on the very first batch. I got my printer like a week and a half later. Actually, one of my first streams was that machine, unboxing it, looking at it, checking it out. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was pretty reliable in the vein of the Bamboo Lab machines, as far as being able to slice, send things over. As long as you had the machine warmed up to temp and the chamber was kind of stable at a pretty decent temperature, you could print. It would level just fine, and then make a very, very nice print. One of my buddies was trying to get into 3D printing, was asking me questions about what to get, this and that, and turned him on to the Elegoo Centauri Carbon. He was super interested, but couldn't get it because they weren't going to be released again until June. This is back in like February. And so I let him borrow my Centauri Carbon, and he loved it. And so he offered to just buy it off of me. And because I have so many machines, I was like, yeah, sure, fine. Like, this is your first machine. I want you to have something good. And he's been loving it, printing all sorts of crap over the last 4 months with that. Heavily modified P1P. How much can you actually modify a P1P? You mean like add-ons? Enclosed it, internal air filter, touchscreen. Yeah, that's awesome. My X1 Carbon is pretty modified, if that's how we're terming it. It's got a heater chamber in there. Chamber heater in there, sorry. Words are backwards. A heated chamber, and that's because it gets so cold out here in the winter time that it won't run ABS without that heated chamber. I would have to warm up the printer for roughly an hour to have a warm enough chamber temp to be able to print ABS successfully. So I added a heated chamber, or chamber heater, and it seemed to work. Dude, these flies are going to die today. I got the doors open because it's pretty hot out today, and these flies keep landing on my face and my legs and shit. Is it running Clipper? No, it's not. I won't do that level of stuff. There's somebody that I've been kind of monitoring their GitHub. They plan to put, and I guess they already have, Clipper on a Bamboo X1 Carbon. And that's fine. I don't want to go that deep with a machine that works just fine for what it is. It's a workhorse. It's got, like, at this point now, over 6,000 hours of work time. My H2D is printing right now, and that one already has over 1,000 hours of print time on it to be a relatively new machine. So that can give you an idea how much I use those things. SoCal beach area, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, it doesn't get too cold out here, but it does get cold enough. We're probably in the mid 30s at night, and so if I'm printing anything overnight, the chamber has a tough time staying warm enough. Because, it's not a very well sealed machine, let's be honest. And so that chamber heater during those months make it really nice. This month, I'm dealing with the opposite. It is almost too hot to print out here. ABS is fine, but even then, I need to like crack the door or whatever to allow some of that heat to escape because it gets too hot. I printed some PLA, and I'll show you this. I printed some PLA stuff for a Switch, a Nintendo Switch 2 kind of dock holder thing. And so this is the mouth of like a piranha plant. And so you'll put your Switch in here once it's done. I'll show it off when I get it finished. It's still printing stuff. But top surface looks perfectly fine. But there's two cooling areas. One right there where there just wasn't enough cooling. And then a matching one on the opposite side there where there just wasn't enough cooling. So these two, where'd it go? These two right here, just not enough cooling. And it printed vertically like that. X1 carbon, clown hammer. There's an alpha clipper on a P1P, requires a lot of hardware. Yep, I'm not willing to do that. Diego, I love my H2D. If you can afford to get one, you should get one. X1C, when it came out, was a game changer. Every other company rushed to catch up, in my opinion, right? This is all my opinion. But I was a Kickstarter backer. So I got mine within the first group. And I've had almost no issues with that machine except for some maintenance stuff. So if I take a little while to do the maintenance and delay that, it'll show up in my prints. It'll start artifacting and things like that. I do maintenance on the machine and it runs. I've had, 2 thermistor replacements on it because they get old, they wear out. And it's running an E3D Obsidian hot end for the last almost 2 years. Again, I got in on the first batch of those, got mine pretty quick, installed it in the machine, and that's what I've been running since. So what if I put an attic fan in the garage? My garage doesn't have attic access. So the roof that you see over my head here goes all the way through. The issue is the garage door. So the garage door, when the sun comes over the top of the house in the afternoon, so basically the way that I'm facing the camera right now is south. No, the way that I'm facing the camera right now is east. So as the sun comes up, the sun is on that side of the house. As we get longer in the day, it transitions to the back side of the house and just bakes that garage door. And so as it bakes that garage door, it really heats up the entire garage. Thinking I'm gonna get a Seaboard Trident to add in. Dude, you should do it, Kegel. My Seaboard Trident is effing amazing. I love that. Every part on it is CNC'd. There are very few parts that are printed whatsoever. So skirts, tool head, obviously. I want to say the bed arms are printed because there's a Trident. And then, what else? Like a few of the cable chain brackets or whatever are printed. AB motor mounts are CNC. You have a CNC cartographer carriage. It's an all-wheel drive or quad XY. So front and back motor mounts are CNC'd. You have inverted electronics. It comes with cartographer and a Rapido, I believe. Motors are 2504s. It's easy to throw 48 volt on that and really get some speed. So that's what I did. I put one of those mellow volt up boards in there and it runs 48 volt now. It's also the one that I need to finish building the box turtle for so that I can run multicolor on it. But before the box turtle, yeah, it worked great. I finished building that one in, oh boy, maybe January, December timeframe. So if you can swing it, you should get it. It's a great deal for the price. Do the foam insulation? Yeah, I should. Military man losing his direction, for shame. Yeah, the problem is we are canted here. So like all of the, if you look at the installation, the way it's oriented is not north-south, east-west. It's canted like 40 degrees. And so realizing what direction that I'm facing when I only see a wall in front of me, I get turned around. I'm looking at my camera like constantly zooming here. I don't understand what's happening. Oh, and look at that. Our pie is finished. All right, fix the camera. Take you back over to the pie. You need to build another trident. Dude, you're going to like that upgrade kit, Jason. It works just as well as any of the other stuff. Where is my freaking... Here we go. All right, so that's the thing. It told me it was finished. I clicked OK. So we should be done with that window. All right. So now over to the printer. We're going to eject this. We'll try that out. Let me move this PLA print back over to where it should be so I don't knock it off and break it. But no, I'm excited for that print. I don't always print gigantic multi-part projects or whatever. This is one of the few that I've done, and I'm quite excited about it. I'm going to add it to the Mario collection that I have going on. I printed that giant Mario, Luigi, and Peach. And now I'm going to print this Piranha plant to hold the Switch 2 and serve as a dock. We're going to add it to the collection and just have a whole set up there. Let's get back over to the pie. New SD card, fresh flashed. I think before I do that, I should make sure the Wi-Fi. We didn't flash Diet Pie on this go, Jason. We may do that on the next. So I want to try with the old school Raspberry Pi imager before it forces you to do Wi-Fi in a weird way. I'm going to check out where we're at here. I'll show you this. This guy. Here, there it is. So there's our freshly flashed stuff. So you'll notice there's no Wi-Fi information. And this is what I was talking about. So we used Raspberry Pi OS, the most up-to-date Bookworm version 64 OS Lite. We used a brand new SD card, and we used an older version of Raspberry Pi imager. Okay, all that's been done. Where do I enter my Wi-Fi credential? I don't. Like, there's just nothing in here to tell me to do it. It doesn't tell me how to do it. There's no file to edit, etc., etc. Okay, so what that leads a person to believe is that you're good to go. You take the SD card, put it in the Pi, power on, and things should connect. Because remember, we put in our credentials. So we're going to do that. Happy not there yet. So we'll put this into the Pi right now. We'll power on and see if it connects Wi-Fi. Power's on. I see red light for the Pi. I've got no screen on my Clipper screen. Happy not there yet. That was the problem we were having earlier, is that it worked a couple days ago, turned it on today, no connect to Wi-Fi at all. It's almost like the credentials got wiped. And without being able to connect it to Wi-Fi, I can't SSH. I can't access it in any way. So I was like, well, dang, we'll just throw a monitor on it and a keyboard and mouse. So I did that. It still will not display a terminal window so that you can't edit anything. And that's a problem. That's what we've been trying to solve for the better part of an hour and a half. You can't serial connect with Buddy. You cannot serial connect unless you have a Wi-Fi connection or you're connected via Ethernet. No cereal on the pie. No cereal on the pie. I don't know what you mean, Clownhammer. We are connected though, and see, use bootleg pies. I mean, I have an orange pie down here. I have several other brand new pies that I've not used before. I just don't think that it's a pie problem. I think it is a image problem. I think it is Raspberry Pi OS and Raspberry Pi Imager that are not transferring properly the Wi-Fi credentials when you flash a new SD card. That's what I think. What's up, Iconic Fab? Always popping in late. I appreciate that. I was hoping to have this thing moving. I was going to show it off to you. But when we powered on this morning, the Pi decided to drop all Wi-Fi credentials and refuses to connect. No display makes you think a Pi problem. I mean, sure. You have a Pi that you have to boot a lot before the screen comes. What do you mean boot a lot? Like several times, or leave it running for a while? You know, identifies GMT +2. I am GMT -7. Unplug it. What, the display? Yeah, we had it disconnected earlier. It had no effect on the Pi itself. I had it disconnected because I wanted to eliminate all of the power draw potential that things may pull from the Pi. So disconnected WLEDs, disconnected CAN, disconnected everything. Display. No, the power to the Pi. Well, if I disconnect power to the Pi, it's not going to do anything. And we could turn it off and turn it back on if you really want to. You have to power on and off a lot before it works. Dude, I've powered on and off this thing like 15 times today in the last hour and a half. You have a bad Pi? How do you know you have a bad Pi though? Maybe it's an SD card. Like, what makes a Pi bad? That's what I'm trying to get at. I have not ever found an explanation for what makes a Pi bad. This Pi was working perfectly fine as an Octoprint Pi for 3-4 years. It worked fine when I flashed it a couple of weeks ago during the build of the machine. All of a sudden, out of the blue, it drops Wi-Fi information and won't connect anymore. Suggesting use a USB serial connection to connect to PuTTY? I don't know. Is that what you're saying, Happy? What image am I using? I missed your message there. What image am I using? It's a Raspberry Pi OS light version of Bookworm. I mean, we can try it, bro. We can try it. I've got a USB cable in here. We can try anything at this point. I'm just not confident that any of this is going to work. Let's see, there's an A to A cable. Let's try that. I think this is long enough. I hope it's long enough. All right, so we're even going to use an USB 3.0 ports. Bookworm 185. All right, USB cable into the PC from the Pi. And then if I do MOBA Xterm, so you over here. Let's see, how do I connect? Session. How am I connecting, Happy? SSH? Port? I don't know. Could be a faulty chip. I was running Clipper and it would freeze up randomly while printing. Move the card to a different Pi and it works great on that printer. You like Rufus? Seems faster. What is Rufus? Try using Etcher. Lowsync, we tried Etcher to flash the mainsail image from the start. And when I flashed a mainsail image, it worked. That was the ultimate solution. But I did have to go in with a monitor, keyboard, and mouse connected to be able to edit my Wi-Fi settings regardless. Need to device manage and find the port. Okay, once I find the port, where do I enter that information? Settings, and then device manager. Device manager. Where am I stuck? Yeah, so I kind of have here's kind of the recap for everybody that's just now joining. Here's the recap. I was working a couple of days ago, turned it off to go on about my day, work, whatever. Came back today before stream, powered on, will not connect to Wi-Fi. I just get a black screen, cannot connect in Chrome. Okay, so what do you do about that? Well, we logged into the router to try to find an IP, so maybe it changed an IP address or something. There is nothing that reflects the Pi itself, period dot. So, which tells me there's no Wi-Fi connection, period. It's not putting out any trons asking to connect, which made me think that it wiped the stuff. So we built a new SD card from Raspberry Pi Imager, put that in there with the Wi-Fi credentials that they have you set up when you're setting up the image. Put that in the Pi, still doesn't connect. Doesn't even recognize Wi-Fi. There's not even an active light on the Pi itself. Grab putty. What? There's like so much going on. Hold on. Okay, so I'm looking at my ports here. I see nothing connected, Happy. Like what section would it be under? Looking under computer, I don't see anything. Other devices, I don't see anything. Ports, I'm just seeing Bluetooth stuff. USB, I see nothing that would lead me to believe it's a Raspberry Pi. I am not able to plug in via a network cable because my router is like 50 feet away. And I do not have a cable whatsoever, much less 50 feet long. Remove SD, insert in your PC, and access the folder. Kaggle, that is old information. WPA supplicant is not a thing anymore when you flash a Raspberry Pi. That was what I was ranting about. The Raspberry Pi Foundation found out that they wanted to change the rules for whatever reason. And so they are not putting WPA supplicants in their images anymore that you can edit. So if you don't set it up when you flash initially under the additional settings portion, then you have no way of doing that. So I don't know. When Pi boots up, LEDs are blinking. It actually boots up. LEDs are not blinking. I have 0 blinking lights on the Pi. I see 1 power red light, and that's it. It would be under ports. Yeah, so I'm looking under ports. I see Bluetooth. I don't even see a port that says it's connected. That's going into my hub though, so I'll try to get it into the PC. Cable is not very long, so directly into the PC. I'm not seeing anything pop up under ports. No Blinky is not booting. He's toast. I mean, we could swap to a Pi. I've got a brand new Pi 4. I mean, instead of wasting time, I'd rather just move on. Corrupt card. Nope, we just flashed it. Brand new card, brand new image. This is what we're going to do. How is it connected? Pins or USB port? Connected to what? Connected to the PC. It's connected via USB cable here. It is powered with the GPIO pins. So 5 volt. Sounds pretty dead. I mean, it's the only thing we haven't tried. It was giving me the same issue when we flashed or tried to flash a couple of weeks ago. I was able to get it to go. For power, we're using GPIO pins here with 2 5 volt lines, 20 gauge cable. That's the next question. So it was giving me these same issues before. I swapped to a different Pi. Didn't matter. I still had the same issues. It's a random thing. Brit's winding up American influencers. I've been wound up over this issue for weeks, Boothie. I mean, you know, this is the same thing that I was seeing when I initially tried to get the Pi running. Can I power to the power USB input rather than I/O? I could, although I would need to swap the, where is it? I got this guy here. Let's go to this one. So this is what I was showing, I think, last week. Yeah, this stuff does drive me nuts happy. So we got this, basically it's the same thing, a DC to DC converter. You drop it in some 24 volt here, 12 to 24 to convert down to 5, 3 amp max, so a little bit less power than the one that's in there currently. And it has the USB micro, is that what it is? Yeah, micro. So that can connect to a Pi. Problem is, I'm also using 5 volts to power the WLED module, so I need terminals to be able to do that. I can't power it with this. So I'd prefer to leave the converter in there that I have. Do a sanity check and use a known good PSU and USB cable. Yeah, I'm using a known good USB cable and a known good PSU. It doesn't matter. It's been all night. Yeah, so I spent 6 hours troubleshooting this last time, and it turned out that no matter what you do in Pi Imager, the Wi-Fi doesn't transfer to the Pi. You have to do it through terminal with a monitor and keyboard. We tried to do that a few times already, connecting the monitor to the Pi. Pi just shows a black screen. So I'm sort of feeling like probably the majority at this point and thinking this Pi is toast. So I am just going to take this out of here. Zmax Excel and velocity in your config. Yeah, that'll get you. That will get you. All right. So bring this over here. Swap this out. But here's the reality, folks. I'm going to swap Pis. I'm not 100% confident that's going to work or if that's even the problem. But we'll do it to eliminate that factor as well. If it doesn't connect, I think rather than sitting here beating our heads against the wall, I will probably call the stream because I don't know where else to go. I'm going to have to jump on my main computer and research as much as I can to figure out what the hell the problem is. Do I have a Pi 4? I have a couple of Pi 4s. That's what I'm going to swap in. Is a Pi 4, and that's too big. I would still try the alternative power cable for testing. I mean, maybe. I don't want to start swapping everything because then you introduce so many variables that it's hard to pinpoint. Realistically, what we should be doing is doing one at a time. So we've gone through looking at Wi-Fi stuff. I updated Wi-Fi config files, no change. We tried a different cable, no change. We tried different SD card, no change. Different SD, like brand new SD card, new image, no change. Now we're coming down to changing out the Pi and seeing how that works out. Let's see, let's go to the Pi drawer over here. Where'd it go? We've got this guy. All right, Clown Hammer, just for you. Brand new Pi 4 1 gig. New inbox, unopened. Okay. There she is. Looks very, very similar to the one we're replacing. I'll need to put some new heat sinks on here, but we can do that at a different point in the project. Bling bling. Pi 3s are slow as hell. Yeah, again, this project was all about using hardware that was existing and stuff that I already had. And this Pi was collecting dust. So I grabbed it and that's what we're using. I almost want to try out the Diet Pi stuff because I don't know. I just have this gut feeling that Raspberry Pi OS is the problem. They changed it so much in how it deals with Wi-Fi credentials that it doesn't want to do stuff right. So I feel like I just want to put Diet Pi on here, thanks to Jason for turning me onto it, and see how that goes. Because we flashed this for a 3, it should work for a 4. We'll try it. We'll try it. So coming back over here, we've got our connections here. And then we'll do it that way. Here we go. Nice and secure. Connection is in. Let's add our U2C USB cables and our main board cable. All right. Same card as before. We just flashed it. So it should have Wi-Fi information, all the things. If I have a config backup, I do. It should be on GitHub. If it is not absolutely correct because it hasn't updated in a couple of days, I mean, it hasn't changed that much. I think I changed like some fan settings or whatever. But whatever. Happy to turn people on. Yeah, you definitely did, man. Thanks. Oh, Streamlabs, you're killing me. I think it's just getting like so hot out here that Streamlabs is like freaking out. Let me change some settings here behind the scenes. This guy, we're going to turn this. That. Back to here. Okay. Hopefully that helps us stop the freezing. Every time I change windows, the window that I'm monitoring from freezes. So we'll do that. Where'd it go? This guy. Here. Then here. All right. New install. Things are connected. Just doing a sanity check here in my brain. We've got main board UTC connected. Power is connected. We should be good to power on to see if it connects. Been using Mellow Pies for the last few builds. Fly OS with Fly Tools has spoiled you. I think I have a Fly Pie around here somewhere. Boothie says Wi-Fi is better than the RPi 4. We'll find out. We will find out. Oops. Clownhammer, see you, bud. Go do your conference call before you get in trouble. All right. Let's jump back into Angry IP Scanner. And I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. Give me a second here. There it is. Okay. Let's see if we can pull up the pie. Bootis printer. What? Looks like a what is this printer? This is it's very similar to a Trident, but Iconic Fab. It is a 3030 frame, which makes it beefy. It has we can go through the look here while that's scanning real fast. It has linear rods on the y-axis. If I move this camera a little bit, we should be able to get a better shot for you. And then up top, we're using a Reaper. And it's got a typical extrusion x-axis here. It's quad XY. So you can see you've got additional motors in the front. You've got motors in the rear. It's running 6mm belts, though. It's got inverted electronics. And the project is called Inertia³, hence the title of the video. Those are the main highlights. I guess one other big thing is if you look down a little bit, you see 4 Z motors. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's a little bit different. And so that means that the frame holding the bed's a little different as well. Yeah, just come build one with us. Exactly. He's too busy making heat insert presses. I love, by the way. Thanks for that project. It's not in the title? What do you mean? It's on the thumbnail. I mean, technically you're right, Kegel. It's not in the title. It is on the thumbnail, though. It's in the description for sure. If you look in there, you'll find a link to the GitHub page and the project. You're not the only one that's happy to turn people on. Integrating a tool head mount into the rig. That would be cool. All right. Where are we at? Hey, look at that. There it is. I guess it was a pie. Looking at number 83. Oh man, you made the stream weird. This stream is always weird. It's my stream. I prefer it to be weird. 83. Holy Christmas, that was a journey. And 15 of you hung out for all of it. That's like the most frustrating 2 hours of my life. Regarding tool head mount, there is another rig now for that with rail. I did see that. I have your main board rig over there as well. It's got a spider on it. I thought I was going to use it in a project, and I didn't. Okay, so I'm seeing Inertia³ on that. So what if we do Inertia³ dot It's still not connected. I use the IP address. Still not connected. What is happening? Typo. 192.168.1.83. Typo how? Inertia cube. Inertia cube dot local. I'm not seeing a typo. So it doesn't work calling it that way. I'm also still not seeing Wi-Fi lights on the Pi. I mean, I can try the monitor thing again and see what's showing on it if I steal the monitor cable. Oh, and of course it uses the tiny one. Dang it. Where is that converter? I think it may be in the house. Well, let's try a screen. So we have the ribbon cable here for the screen, for the display on the printer. Let's plug this in and see if it works. Put it in the correct way. I'm getting no output on the screen right now either. So no output on the screen, no Wi-Fi connection. And I don't have the right converter or adapter to connect that to my pod. Sometimes localhost names don't work. Yeah, I agree with you. Regardless, 192.1.83. Even if I tried that though, come on, what are we doing? I think my brain is fried, guys. Making dumb mistakes. It's the black power box buck converter thing. How so? How is it the power box buck converter thing? Self Press Pro. Hey, Iconic Fab, if we can grant you mod access real quick, feel free to post a link to your thing. There you go. Should be able to post a link now if you want. Hey, Petty, getting here super late, but I like you. Rig for Jennings. You can post a link to whichever project that you're talking about. Stealth Press, the rig, like whatever link that takes you to your stuff on printables. Feel free to post that. Work has been busy. Finally got a few minutes. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, we got the day off, so I'm taking advantage, and that's why we're streaming today. Normally, I would not stream on a Thursday. Definitely won't stream at 8 o'clock because it gets a little hot towards the tail end of that. But we're just taking advantage. Let's see. Let me get back into my router real quick. Let's see if I can figure out what's going on with this. In the device list. Think you know what the problem is? What is it? Because I worked out this morning. Design a rail bracket for a DIN rail. I mean, I could see Inertia³ online. It is at that 83 Wi-Fi. I'm going to go ahead and reserve the thing for that, as Boothie wanted me to. Settings. Not this one. Connectivity. Thanks, Iconic Fab. If we can pin that on there. There you go. If you guys are looking to check out some cool stuff from Iconic Fab, there's the link. I just had it set up. Where did I go to do that? Leave DCHP for present. Okay. I don't really know what to do then. I mean, it's being picked up on the scanner, it's being picked up on the router. It's just not connecting over here, and it's putting out 0 display image. What do I do? Yeah, you can always spam your stuff. I enjoy your stuff, man. I'm a fan of your stuff. So if you want to spam it, do it. I like supporting people. So if anyone else has a printable page that they want to spam right now, let me know. Let's get the word out. Try the power cable. I mean, I can. It takes a USB-C. Good. Good. All right. So I have one that is, I have this one here that is connected to a power strip, and it's a USB-C that definitely is charging. So it should not be an issue using this for power. Just need to move that to make room. Goes in. Now there should be no excuse to not have power. Okay. Still not connected. Have a spare 5-volt PSU somewhere? I do. Use something else to power the Pi? Help me understand why we believe it to be a power supply issue. Because I'm not feeling the same way. And I'm going to unplug the display. So it's not pulling any power. Okay? No power. Why do we believe it to be a power supply issue? Because I just added, so it's got 2 5-volt lines going to it. I've got a power supply externally supplying power here. And have I a boot up green light? I don't have a boot up green light. I don't. And I understand that Wi-Fi struggles with produced power, but that doesn't help me understand why we think the power supply is bad. remove the 5-volt from the pins. I mean, sure. Done. 5 volts removed from the pins. We're only on USB-C cable. And just give it power from the USB. That's what we're doing right now. No change. Let's try to reload. No change. And so when you guys say that it's a power supply thing, I have a hard time believing that because we've tried several different ways to power the Pi now, and it won't do it. Boothy's suggesting we reboot. So power off. Reboot, unplug, replug. Okay, we are powered off. Unplug the Pi. Okay, Pi's unplugged. Come back over here. No reboot the Pi. What are we? You're telling me to reboot and then not reboot? Yeah, still having issues, Clownhammer. New Pi, new image, no change. All right, so excuse me. No power to the Pi whatsoever. 5 volts are released. USB power is done. Redo connection here. That should power the Pi. Okay, I'm seeing green lights and everything now. They are flashing. Red light is steady. I believe it did this the first time. And that's how we were able to find the IP, was because it tried to at least connect. It gave me the IP of the Pi. So we'll run the next thing here. Hey, MakerMind Nexus, thank you guys for popping in. Trying to solve some Wi-Fi issues, so if that's your thing, and you're trying to figure out how to connect your Raspberry Pi when it won't, maybe hang out, because maybe we get it, maybe we don't. But thank you all for being here. I appreciate the raid, MakerMind Nexus. Right. Scan is done. Looking for, yep, so still same IP. There it is. Backfeeding from I/O pins gives me trouble when you're V0. Ended up butchering a USB cable for power only. That's what we're doing, low sync. So it is power only. It's not an I/O cable per se. It's literally 2 5-volt pins and a ground pin. Yeah, good to see you too, Dan. Thanks for popping in. I didn't realize you were streaming this morning. Taking advantage of my day off. And so figured I would jump on. Use the hive mind to see if we can solve this issue. Problem is, I can see the IP, but the Pi will not connect to Wi-Fi. Always use the power input, never the I/O. Boothy, I'm exactly the opposite. I almost always use the I/O and have never had issues with that. Streaming for a few hours. Yeah, we're on hour 2 and some change. Maybe if we take out like main board and stuff like that, like disconnect those from USB. So there's nothing drawing any power from the Pi whatsoever. Raspberry Pi should have like full power to do a thing, and it's still not doing a thing. So that's why I'm kind of against what you guys are saying about power supply being bad, because there's no change when we add in a different power supply. So for what it is. I wonder though if I can see any. Can you ping or SSH? I can try. I haven't tried yet. Let's see. Let me start a new shell here. And I'll take you guys over to it. 1 second. I can SSH, yes. Let me show you what I'm seeing. So I can see the shell there. This guy here. Make that a little bit bigger for you all. And then if I can make the text larger, I will do that. How do I? You can SSH. No, we haven't gotten that far, Dan. We're trying to just get the Pi to connect because for all morning it hasn't wanted to do so. Like we've literally tried everything all the way up to not replacing the Pi. Nothing worked, so I replaced the Pi. And that's literally the last step in what we're trying to do here. So I think now we can do PIA or Kaya or however you want to say that word. It's just a shame that we had to do all of that. Diet Pi, we're good. I'll keep that up for reference later. I need to read the docs. Let's see if we can get into this. We did all of that. Need to run these commands. Oh, look at that. Stop for some reason. Okay. Running this. Yeah, so maybe it really was the Pi and not power supply or any of these other things that we were talking about, which makes me think that maybe the original SD card that we were using could go back in instead of this one, because I'm going to have to reset up literally everything on the Pi now when my other SD card has everything good to go. Engagement farming. Hey, you got to grow, man. Grow or die. No, I had planned to come out here anyway today and do some of this. I'm going to be out here tomorrow too, probably Saturday, probably Sunday. And just thinking about what my wife told me when I first started streaming, she's like, if you're going to be out in the garage doing this stuff anyway, why not put a camera on and talk about it? So that's what we're doing, taking advantage. I'm going to redo it, try Diet Pi. Yeah, that's what Jason was saying, is to use Diet Pi. Yeah, Dan, you and I are kind of the same, although I think you stream a lot more than I do, a lot more often than I do. Okay, next command is this one here. And we're good to go. And then last one should be this one. We're trying to get back into it. You're lacking a bit last month. Dude, I'm only going like usually on Sundays. Days like this are days that I just have off in the middle of the week, so I'll jump out here for a couple hours and do the thing. I gotta reset up everything. This is so I almost just want to put the old SD card in there instead of going through all this. SSH now, you have the IP. Yeah, so Boddington's, that's what I'm doing right now. That's what you're seeing on screen is SSH. Your wife said the same, about to take her out. Yeah, okay, go jump on stream, man. If you want to come and jump on this stream sometime and get a feel for talking to a camera and having a banter, I invite you to come over. Same for Dan or any other streamer out there. If you want to jump on stream and talk trash about 3D printers, let's do it. Just shoot me a DM and we'll coordinate time and technology and all that stuff. Right now, I only know how to stream by myself. So if we need to get some other folks on, we'll probably have to do some setup and whatever. But I'm open to doing that. I know that I first want to change to Calico. We definitely want to back up first. And then we want to switch our repository. And it's not listed because I didn't set it up yet. So we need to go over to the Calico page and do that. Here, let's do Calico. Yeah, Kegel, let me know, man. We can jump in and do a thing. Oh, yeah, I'm not worried about it, Dan. Like, I can get through all this basic stuff because I've built a lot of these machines. Troubleshooting why Wi-Fi does not work is beyond my capability. And I guess what it comes down to is the Pi just felt like it gave up the ghost. But if you are interested in using Calico, I guess this is a good overview of how to do so. So if you scroll down to the bottom, you can switch right here by using these instructions. So if you want to do it manually, you can do it that way. I prefer to do it with option 2 using Kiao because that's what we're already on. Still on this call. Not bad power, Clown and Hammer. That was a red herring. It turns out that it was a bad Pi. We're able to SSH into the thing now. What I'm not sure of is when I disconnect this power cable, will I have enough juice to be able to get into the mainsail portion of it? But that explains why we couldn't access it through Chrome, is because we didn't have mainsail or Moonraker installed. Now that makes sense. Okay. I can tell my brain is fried though. Rather be paying attention to the stream. It's up to you. We'll be here for maybe another half an hour or so. All right, so if you want to try out Calico, this is how I'm going to do it. There are several options depending on your preferences. So you can clone everything manually and do it that way, or you can set it up through Kiao, which allows auto updates, one button updates, things like that. That's my preferred method. And then if you really just want to do a get remote and do it that way to go back to mainline Clipper or whatever, you can do it with these. So option 2, go to this folder, which means we need to come back to our SSH. What I'm going to do is just kind of keep my terminal window where I can see it, and then we'll have a split with the Chrome window up top there, so you can sort of see the electronics. Let's move this window a touch. You can see the MobaX term I'm using, and then up top here you have the instructions, so you could follow along with. I can move this one a little bit as well, and then we can expand that to make it a little larger for those that need to see, like that. And over here we can do the same. There you go. So hopefully you can see all of that stuff. That way I'm not flipping windows and getting all messed up. Over here we'll go back and we'll quit out of that. We'll do cd tilde. Oh, come on. Just gonna copy over here. These flies have been out here harassing me all freaking day. Getting really tired of it. All right, so this one, we'll delete these out of here. There you go. They're in the right folder. And then copy this guy here. That's the thing you got to be careful of. If you control V, it's going to put all that extra stuff. You really should just right click. I failed to right click. We do that one. Okay, let's see. Backup clipper. We want to make that true. So backup before updates. We're going to say true here. And then clipper. So under the clipper folder, you can add in different repos that you want to use. So I just come to the end of the line, return, and then space over to where you want to be to line it up. And then essentially you just go over to the Calico, so the same page here, and you want to just copy this line for the main branch, or if you want to use bleeding edge, you can use that. I prefer bleeding edge. So when I come in here, I'm just going to copy this on that line into SSH right here. And then you could do the same for Moonraker. So if you want to use a different Moonraker kit, like a branch or a fork, you can make your own and do that. Or if there's one you like, you can grab that one as well. You just add it under this line here. Okay. So once you get all of those things good to go, you can save and exit. You can even use unstable releases of mainsail and fluid if you would like to. So you can get really experimental if you want. I prefer to just leave them the way it is. I just like using Calico because it unlocks a few other nice things in Clipper that you can do. So then you just Control X to exit, yes to save, enter to write the file, and then we should be good to go. And so now our instructions over in Chrome tell us to go to settings and then switch the repo like we had tried before. So back in SSH, I'm going to just up arrow till I get to Kiao and run. Well, I should CD back to home first, and then I can up arrow to the Kiao shell. It's going to ask me the same thing. I prefer to try it one time, and then once I get things running and I can reliably use Kiao, then I select option 3 and just use version 6 all the time. But for this, I'm going to use version 1. Had to walk away again. Pi. Yeah, Pi was the issue, Jason. We're setting things up again on a new Pi. Okay, so now we can install. Oh, I'm sorry. We need to go to swap the repo first. So S for settings. We've already got backup selected. Number 1, switch the repo. We're going to switch to option 2, which is our bleeding edge Calico fork, and it's going to clone all that crap. It's going to take a little while, especially if you already have a Clipper installed on and you want to move over. It's going to back up everything that you already have, and then it's going to install all the new stuff. We're going from scratch, so there should be nothing to back up. So this one's happening a little bit quicker. But yeah, Jason, it seems like it was the Pi itself. Some folks were throwing out bad power supply and stuff like that. I really didn't think that was the case. But the way that we have it set up now, it's just using a USB cable for power, just to eliminate that variable. And we were able to pull in IP and all that stuff. So if anybody wants a dead Pi, let me know. We'll put it on a lanyard, and you can use it as a Christmas ornament this year. I'm going to recover these heat sinks, though, and put that on the new one. And I need this same. I have other heat sinks as well, but waste not, want not, right? If you can recover parts and pieces, I tend to do that. So we'll probably have to do some other setup and whatnot. But for now, I think we're going to be golden. I want to be golden. And I think once we get Clipper installed, yeah, I reuse heat inserts too. I looked at, who is it? CNC Kitchen's heat insert removal tool. I just felt it to be tedious, so I didn't go that route. I do the old school. I have like a throwaway $14 uh, soldering iron, and I'll heat that heat cert up and kind of wiggle it out of there. I recover mine that way, and then I end up with a case, like a box, this little. Oh, that would have been bad. I almost dropped that all over the garage. I end up with this giant case of just heat inserts that I use. And if you're one of those people that don't want to reuse them, that's fine. They're what, a couple of bucks for 100. Dude, cat-like reflexes. That's what that was. But my heart like definitely jumped in my throat on that one. Man, I've never had a pie die before. So disappointed. What do you guys do with your old like electronics and stuff like this? I mean, this one probably is not good for anything now that it doesn't work. So what would you do with this? I always feel bad about like just putting this in the trash or whatever. But it's not used for anything either. Software cost connection abort. What? It may be getting too hot out here. They go in a drawer until you can get them recycled. Oh wow! See, are you guys seeing that? Like it just reset itself for some reason. Yeah, so the clipper install was incomplete. How do we get out of here? Back again. S. 1, 2. Source directory does not exist. Is it getting the right voltage? I hope so. It's getting a USB-C cable. I can add back my my 5-volt power supply that definitely does work, internet. And then we can add like printer power to it just to be sure. Hey, Kenneth Davis. Probably keep it and see if there's something you can replace on it. It's a good idea. I don't know what I want to do with it. It'll probably just hang around until I get tired of having junk and I'll throw it away. Yeah, Petty, I think it is getting the right voltage though. Just weird that it would do that. Maybe our Wi-Fi is spotty. Usually when it gets really hot out here, like it is right now, we're up at change this back to Fahrenheit. 92 degrees. And so when it gets hot out here like that, it'll normally screw with our Wi-Fi for some reason. It's too hot even for Wi-Fi trons to go. Turn the power on here just to make sure it has what it needs. And I just thought about this too. We're gonna have to can flash the main board, or sorry, the U2C and the mellow all over again. So like another couple of hours of flashing boards. But I guess on the bright side, you're gonna be really good at it by the time you get done. You could try installing LM sensors on the Pi. Check the temp. Sure. But the way that I normally do it is you could set it up in Clipper to show as a temperature host. So I just follow the Clipper documentation on how to set up the Raspberry Pi as a host. And then once you do that, you can set a temp sensor for the Pi, and it'll just give it to you right in mainsail. I've never seen the process that you typed out there. I'm sure it works though. The cool thing is on this printer with the main board that it's running, all 4 motor drivers for the A1, B1, A normal, B normal, they all have temperature sensors on the drivers themselves. And then there's a chamber temperature sensor that needs to go in, and what is it? What's the fume one? Oh God, what is it? Air quality sensor. Thanks. Easy to see in Clipper. Just figured it would help you since you were still at the CLI stage. I don't know what CLI means. Betty, I'm not a network Linux guy, so some of the terminology I'm not familiar with. CLI stage. Command line install. Got it. Appreciate you. Yeah, I think right now, before we get into all that, I really just like to have Clipper on here. If I can get Clipper on, interface. Well, I was close enough. If I can get Clipper on here, and I can transfer over my backed up config and just get things sort of talking. I need the main board to talk to the Pi. Once that happens, I'll be good. I just don't know why this is taking so damn long. It feels like it's frozen to me. Betty, what's the last thing you won, man? I feel like it's been a little while. At least a couple days since you won anything. I won on Lee Marie's stream the other day. Do not have any information on it, though. What should I get? Got all this ambrosia back here. And there's a crap ton of other filament over there. So, not sure what I want. You want some filament on Steve Build stream not too long ago. Okay. And I haven't won anything on from Steve in years. It's probably been like a year and a half. He's just so big now that you got 200-300 people in there on one go. Just makes the odds a lot less. But it's cool. We're not always there for that anyway. I'm just asking you because you seem to have the keys to the kingdom on winning all the things. That was the first time you won on his stream after watching him for a couple years. Yeah, I think early on, when I've been watching Steve for 3 years and some change, and early on, I think I got like 1 or 2, and it's been nothing since. And that's fine. I don't continue to go back for filament. Obviously, I need no more filament. It's just entertaining. He's got like that radio voice, you know, just calming. So when I used to be out here building, before I started streaming, I'd have Steve on in the background and sit there and go through the whole 3, 4, 5 hour stream while building my stuff. And a lot of the tips that I use now came from Steve. I don't know, folks. Like, what's going on with this thing? I've never seen it take this long on one step. It usually like sort of moves to let you know it's still going. Pretty big pile of filament that you need to work through. Most of it is stuff that you buy. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Yeah, most of this is bought as well. Quick math. If I look across, talk about number of spools, right? Number of spools. There are 7 here. That looks to be 10, 12. That's 19. 25, 29, 30. 46 spools on this rack behind me. There's one just out of frame to my left that has a similar number. And then across the garage next to where the printers are, over there, there's roughly another, oh boy, another 60 spools. And then above the camera up top, I have the rep rack filament spool holder, and there's another, 30 up there. So I'm roughly 200 plus spools because there's a table over here too, and there's filament on that. There's filament in the H2D. There's filament in the X1 carbon. There's filament in the in the box turtle that doesn't work. So I'm definitely over 200 spools. And so just trying to burn through what I got so that I can slim down a lot of that. Let's kilos that up, man. Thanks for the sub, Reverend. Appreciate it. Waiting for things to happen. I feel like we're watching grass grow. I just kind of want to terminate that and restart it. Oh, Clownhammer's back. How's your call go? Did you finally finish? Oh, and now you don't want to connect. What is happening? See what? Oh, there it goes. Just took it a minute. Okay, so let's go back in here. Still on it. Clipper install is incomplete. Let's try it again. Clipper. Number what? Instances to set up. Yeah, we just want to do the one. Don't need that. Do I want to overwrite? Yes. I feel like it pauses for whatever reason at like 3% and doesn't want to move. On the phone, not the network guy, as far as they know. I'm definitely not the network guy either. Yeah, we're trying to remember subnetting. Use the calculator whenever you need to think about it. I don't even know what subnetting is. All right, so it seems like it's installing now. But I wonder if it's just installing baseline Clipper. If so, that's fine. We can make a change later. I can redo all this process while we're not sitting here watching grass grow. Anyway, got about 10 minutes on stream left. I feel like every time I stream stuff, though, we run into issues that prevent us from moving forward. I don't cedar, no idea what that even means. Like, I know that in our hobby, there are networking people a lot. There are like Linux people a lot, engineers a lot. I am by far like none of that stuff. I am anti um, all of that. Like, none of that is my experience. I'm a military guy. I fly airplanes. Uh, I work for a living. I'll say it that way. So how I got into this hobby and doing this kind of stuff, no clue. Other than it's challenging and figuring out stuff like this um, is it scratches that little part in your brain where you're like, oh, that feels good. You LARP as a network guy. Yeah, I LARP as someone that thinks I know what I'm doing with all this stuff. What kind of plane do I fly? It's a tanker aircraft, so it's a. You can Google KC-46. It's a tanker airplane. So we fill it up with gas and then offload that gas in flight to other aircraft so that they don't have to land. So they let me do that from time to time, but really I'm kind of upper management now. So I get to do my actual um, whatever specialty. My actual specialty I do maybe once a month or so. I'll do a flight. At this point in my career, it's all about designing the training, making sure the team is ready to go, and that they can go and execute whatever we ask them to do. So I sort of coordinate all of that kind of stuff while developing them on the professional level and mentoring and being the disciplinarian if we need to, being the coach if I need to, kind of do a range of all that stuff. So kind of in the HR world, but also management and training, some budget stuff, kind of all encompassing in that role. At least Clipper's moving now. That's exciting. Your buddy's a pilot from the Navy Reserves and flies T-38. Seems like a cool job. Okay, so he's a trainer. So T in the T-38 means trainer aircraft. So if you see T anything, it's for folks to learn how to fly. So they learn basics in those things. The T-38 is kind of going away for the Air Force. Transitioning to a different aircraft, a different airframe to use for that. It's all updated with new electronics and stuff like that, as compared to the old one that is very much like 1970s, 80s technology. So pretty cool. Oh yeah, Yuri Selfridge. I know that place. I would not mind working there. I think that's a pretty decent gig they got going. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. Half of those guys I got to train in some way or another. And yeah, maybe one day I end up at Selfridge. We'll see. That's relatively new for them too. They didn't have 46s for very long. I think it's within probably the last year that they've been out there. Come on. This is the hard part, like always waiting for this stuff to happen. Does my military budget have a PO for Polymaker and Ambrosia? You laugh, Kegel. What kind of? So one of the things that the military is really good at is innovation. You wouldn't think so, but there's an innovation aspect to what we do, to where you're always trying to find new ways to solve problems. In at least my service, one way we do that is through technology. And if folks have a good idea of how to solve something, then usually there is a budget line for that. And you fly RC helicopters, hey, that works. And usually there's a budget line for that. And so a few years ago, what a lot of units would do is buy this 3D printer. And they would buy all this filament, and it would just kind of do a thing. There wasn't necessarily a plan to print things with it. Like, what are we going to use it for? And then the training aspect of it is the hard part. How do you use this thing for somebody that never used it before? And then even if you do, what are you going to print? If you don't already have a ready-made solution in STL or CAD form, then you need to design it, which is another skill set that not everybody has. So it becomes challenging. Vision minor in the Air Force? Oh, I don't know. Are you saying like vision minor the machine? Like an, what do they call it? IDEX 22, something like that? Or are you talking about the stuff, like the liquid, this stuff? I'm talking about this. All right, team. I think I'm gonna have to call this stream. I thought this would take a lot less time than it is, and I'm running up against like the 5-minute warning on when I got to get out of here. We got to make a run into town, so I don't know that I have the time to hang out on stream and wait for this. If it is useful to you all and you want to do another stream tomorrow, sound off in the comments now. If I see a bunch of thumbs ups in the chat right now, I will potentially stream tomorrow and we can work through the rest of this. Brand new to the base, A10 Warthogs and 135. Yep, I used to fly 135s as well. A10s are going away. So enjoy it while it lasts. Used in R&D for rapid prototype. Yep, exactly, Cable. That's what we would use it for. I just worked myself into a gig where I get to teach intro 3D printing to newbies here at my location now. So we'll build it out. We'll see what that turns into or not. But right now it just seems a lack of like experience with this technology. And so I'm already in the space. That's what I love to do. And so if I can go teach it as well, I'm sort of combining my two skill sets of coaching with my hobby. So just another avenue to do a cool thing to expose 3D printing to more people. See one thumbs up from Clownhammer over here. So I guess it's just going to be me and Clownhammer streaming tomorrow. Isn't there new A10s on the horizon? No. The A10 was built for a very specific skill set, right? Air to ground engagement. And they are the best at it. As we go into the future of what the next war is, I'm seeing 2 thumbs up now. To what the next war is, that air to ground capability becomes less desirable or less in demand, I'll say. Less in demand. And so if we're going to be fighting in cyberspace, it makes sense to have satellites and space-based stuff go on, not the air-to-ground stuff of wars past. So as far as I know, unless you're more read in than me, There's not an A10 replacement. Actually the F35 is kind of billed as the replacement for the A10. So look into that and make your own judgments on what you think. But as far as I know, there's not an A10. You'll bring the popcorn. You'll try to join. Yeah, it's not a for sure. I'm seeing 2 thumbs up. I'll see what I can do. But I have no idea what we are doing tomorrow. I have no idea what she's planning for tomorrow. We do have a 4-day weekend though, and I told her that I'm really not trying to be out. I need my social battery to regenerate a little bit after last night. So trying to do as little as possible today, and as little as possible over the next 3 days. DaVinci 10, does that mean you want to stream? Is that a thumbs up? Is that what we're saying? I love how it comes up in chat too. Person turquoise waving. That's how it comes up. I really need to get down and make my own emojis. I don't know that I can though. I don't know that the stream is big enough yet to unlock custom emojis and that kind of thing. We're growing though. If I look at the stats, that is in this window, it looks like we are, let's see, go back over here, channel. Looks like we are at 355 subscribers today, which is great and awesome. So thanks to all of you for subbing, those that have, and those who haven't, please help us out. Didn't get an alert, found it on YouTube. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I did my normal process, Clownhammer. Made the stream yesterday, scheduled it yesterday, and I think maybe you should check like your sub icon and have it notify for all versus whatever the other options are. I think that's one way. And then I usually will post it on Twitter and then in all of the self-promotion Discord channels that I'm a part of, which are all of the common ones. And then also, if you're following on my Discord, the Killer Prince Discord, you can get notified there as well. Dismissed it by accident? It happens. Appreciate you being here regardless. Yeah, I think we need to get up to like 500 to be able to do custom emojis. I don't super know how that works though. We're at 355. That's pretty good. In what, since February? So in 4 months, we're at 355. We're about halfway through the month. So averaging somewhere around 100 a month. It's awesome. I was happy to have 2. Just try to go live, and YouTube said, no, you don't have enough subs. What? I think, oh man, what do you need to even be able to go live? I don't remember. I know there are certain like very, very low level requirements though. I think you need to have, your account has to be old enough. You need, man. Yeah, so you have to be on YouTube for a certain period of time. You have to have a certain number of watch hours. That's what it is. You have to be able to watch stuff. 50 subs? Hello. You want to come say hi to the people? Back here dancing. Say hi.
You know what I'm looking
Oh, here, I'll show you. This is Shanika. This is the wife. The camera's up here. She's the one dancing around in the house all day long. But, oh yeah. So, Kegel, you're saying you have to have 50 subs to be able to go live? That's crazy. I didn't have 50 subs when I went live for the first time. I think I had like 12. What's up? No, just watching me. The saint, yeah, the saint. Booty calls you the saint because you're so nice, and you let me do all of this.
Cool hobby.
Yeah. But yeah, so he calls you the same. Yeah, it looks like we're still working through this stuff. I don't know that it's gonna finish before we stop streaming. It said try making more shorts to gain more subs. Well, there you go. Try making more shorts to gain more subs. You should know better. What's up? Oh, you want to see? Okay. Yeah, we're wrapping up right now, so I'll be in. Everybody's saying hi to you, by the way. I can't hear you. You don't have a mic, unless you want to say.
Hello.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you do a short like that, I would definitely watch that, and it'll get you at least one sub. I'll tell you what. Let's go over to your channel right now. I'll sub to you right now. Everyone go follow Kegel so we can get him to 50 subs. That way he can stream as well. Kegel, I don't even see you as a person. Are you Chris Kegel, the cowboy? AMC Fab. Let's see. AMC Fabrication. Like it's the fabrication videos. There he is. Subbed. Now you're at 4. We'll go all that way I get notified. Oh yeah, your video was like 12 years ago. Your most recent was 9 years ago. That's probably why, man. What are you doing with this slow truck on here? Look at that. Now you're at 6. Everyone, right now, go sub to Kegel so we can get him on stream. Well, that's rude. What do you fabricate? It looks like when I first looked at your channel, it looks like you do car fabrication or truck fabrication. Yeah, I sold my truck to you and my car. The only one I have is you can't see it because the door is down, but I've got the Golf back there, and then if I move this way, you can kind of see the corner of the bike right over here. That like this corner. Too bad a truck. Used to build custom cars and trucks. I really tried to get into that. I took auto tech in high school. My grandfather was an auto body person when I was growing up, so I was always in the shop sanding and painting and things like that. Tried to make my Air Force career a vehicle mechanic, so that way I could kind of meld those two together. It just didn't work out for me. Link for Kegel channel? I can drop it in chat. He's going to be. I think I closed it by accident. Drop this in chat for everybody. Oh no. It didn't copy like I wanted it to. 1 second. We'll try it again. So this one here, share channel, copy, and back. Somehow I closed the chat. All right, there it is. Takes a little while. There is Kegel's channel. Pinned at the top. If you want to help him out, get to 50 subs so that he can come on stream and we can talk trash about 3D printers. Sub to Kegel, get him up to 50. But Kegel, here's the thing, man. You're going to have to make shorts. You're going to have to start making content. If we get you up to 50, you now have an obligation. All right, we're still going through all this setup. I don't know that we're going to finish today. So, was on a call, so responded late. Oh, you're good. Everybody's working today. It's Thursday. I'm the only fool that's off work. Me and retirees. Already subbed. That's why you couldn't find it. That happens. You were one of the original 4. But folks, we're going to call the stream. That's 3 hours of fighting through firmware and whatnot. And sometimes that's how it goes. I just try to insulate you all from this process because this stuff sucks. Not fun whatsoever to fight through it. But it seems to be back on board. I still have a lot more to do behind the scenes to get everything updated. All of the plugins and stuff that I was running previously, I have to redo over here. Not looking forward to it. But that'll be a late night thing I do this evening. So either way, appreciate 15 of you being here for the duration. If you have not liked the stream already, please do so. Share this out with your buddies and your friends. Maybe not this particular stream because this one was less exciting than others. But if you could share the channel around, that'd be greatly appreciated. Let's get Kegel up to 50. That's the goal, getting Kegel to 50. Dead air right now. Kept you going through a bad bumper install. Yeah, sometimes it's that way, Havoc. Sometimes just listening to someone and being able to tune out and have that background noise definitely helps. So I plan to do the exact same thing as I go through and set up the rest of this config and everything else, this Raspberry Pi. I'm going to have somebody in the background talking to me the same, just to try to stay calm. On and off 4 times. Lunchtime, exactly. Time to feed the body, feed the mind. Feed the wife over here too. That's why she came out. I was like, hey, it's for lunch. So we're going to go eat some food and whatnot. But, cool, y'all. Thanks for being here. I will do my best to stream tomorrow. So keep an eye out for the notification so you can sign up to be notified when we go live. If it happens, still 50-50. If it happens, it'll be same time as today. So 0800 Pacific time. And yeah, look out for the notification. Enjoy your day. It's Juneteenth. Go find a picnic somewhere. Celebrate if that is in your custom. Have a good time. Enjoy your loved ones. See y'all later.